Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fan Battle Cast, where we talk about the matchups that y'all pitched. And today we have a pretty interesting one because this is, as far as I can tell, the only chariot fight we have on the to-do list. So it's going to be an interesting one. We have Wamuu from the second part of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure versus Iskandar from the Fate franchise. I am your host, as per usual, Santi Sherm. With us today, debating for Wamuu, we have CEO. Say hi.
Hello.
And debating for Iskandar, we have Riddles.
Hey there, everyone. I got pulled out of gotcha hell for this.
And very nicely joining us today, our jury member, besides me, is the Croat Cajun. Say hi.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I just happen to know both these characters, funnily enough, so it's all good.
For a second, I thought your introduction was just going to be you flexing and then just being silent.
It should have been, honestly.
That's all we need to know. It's like Aaron from Undertale. Yeah. I think we can kind of just jump right in. So who... I guess a good question for this debate is... Oh. We have a guest. Hi, Saul. You're live.
Hello. I thought you needed another person.
We do. Croat has nicely joined us. Your services... You're welcome to join if you want to, but
Sure, I'm here now.
Alright, we've got Saul. Saul has joined the call. We all love Saul. We'll
The trick is that Saul is not joining in as a judge. He's coming in specifically as a combatant.
As a combatant.
He
Yeah,
will
go
be
on,
fighting Wamuu and Iskandar.
Saul low diffs both.
It's more like how long can they survive against Saul?
That's how we decide the winner. Who can
Halfway
beat Saul?
through the
first.
fight, Saul just descends in a glorious light. And then
Sorry, I'm late.
And our final jury member, making this an even amount of juries. This was perfectly planned out. We have Zoro. Say hi, Zoro.
Hello.
Alright,
Sorry, I
so...
thought it was at 2:30.
It's all good. It's all good. So, just to start this off, this is a Fate matchup, and some Fate debates, they kind of have different standards for what we're using depending on the character. So, Riddles, what material will we be using from Fate for this debate?
So the main basis I will mainly be doing is Fate Zero, logical chain scaling from characters from Fate Stay Night, since Zero is a prequel from that, and two of the strongest characters from Stay Night also pop up, and Zero and Iskandar directly fights them both.
Okay. So,
And then,
sorry, I interrupted you. Please continue.
yeah, no, and then of course if it's anything, if it's like, okay, these characters, yeah, and then it's like some clarification things from the spin-off novel series El Malloy Case Files. I will be bringing up some stuff from Fate, from like the Extra series and Grand Order, but that is to clarify some skills and help supporting evidence for where I put some of his stats.
Okay, so Fate Zero is the anime that Iskandar is in, and we're mostly, that is the primary source, and everything else is just kind of to extrapolate on that, more or less.
If anyone was curious, I will be using Jojo, and that's it.
Somehow, you see, you said that, but then somehow the George Joestar scaling comes in, and I have to pull out the extra bullshit unironically.
As far as I'm aware, there's no novel scaling for Wamuu, but I guess since we brought it up, it will be anime and manga composite, so I guess anime feats, if they're better than manga, will be valid here. Alright, so with that, who wants to go first, Iskandar or Wamuu?
You gotta have a race for that.
Can we flip a coin?
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
7.
3.7.
We're going Price is Right rules because y'all are equally close, so CEO goes first.
All right.
Alright.
I get 60 seconds or whatever?
Yes. I will bring up the timer, and you will tell us all about Wamuu from Jojo Bizarre Adventure Part 2.
All right.
Have to use his full legal name.
All right.
All right. Essentially, Wamuu is the secondary. Oh wait, timer's not going.
Yes. We can restart it if you
Yeah.
want.
No, essentially, Wamuu is the secondary main antagonist of JoJo Part 2 and is essentially a vampire on steroids. He specializes in wind and tornado-based attacks, but that is only scratching like the surface of his abilities. He and his species in general have like some of the craziest body horror abilities I've personally ever seen. While his stats might not be as good as who he's about to go up against, he more makes up for that with his absolutely insane regeneration, a really good ranged arsenal, and being able to kill you with pretty much just a touch. All he has to do is keep the fight at a distance and wait for a good opportunity to close in and just touch Iskandar once, and that's it.
Wow.
20 seconds left on the clock.
Very
Theo
efficient.
is a
Very
consummate
efficient.
professional.
Oh, even if he does lose, he could use the poison ring to make Iskandar die in a month. Wamuu would still lose, but it would.
I'm taking you down. I'm taking you with me.
Perhaps a Pyrrhic victory. I gotta be honest, the argument of he might lose isn't great in an initial 60 seconds, but you know what, we'll let it rock.
Wait, if he has the antidote on his lip ring, then like he'd
Wamuu
poison
will
it,
eat
and then
it.
he'd immediately get the antidote back.
Well,
I
that's
poisoned you, Iskandar. The only cure is in this ring I have.
I was going to say, that's assuming Wamuu would tell him where the antidote is.
No, Wamuu will just drink the antidote. It's fine.
Wamuu just chugs that shit.
Wamuu's
Sounds
like,
like the beginning of a shit post. What if you were poisoned and the only antidote was in my body?
Wamuu about to do this.
Wamuu's gonna be like, okay, one more thing before I die. And it's like, oh, you screwed now, mate.
You've been poisoned. I'm feeling so queasy.
Alright, Riddles, you have 60 seconds to counter this airtight argument for the poisoning. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, then. I'm ready. So, Iskandar, otherwise known as Alexander the Great, is a Vita Class 7 summon that could be summoned in the Holy Grail War. As a summon, he is, considered very high up there in the terms of strength, and being considered an equal of King Arthur, and only surpassed by the likes of like Ozymandias and Gilgamesh. He rides a divine chariot called the Gordius Wheel. That can let him trample under any opponent in his path. Well, I think Wamuu is certainly a tenacious son of a bitch. I think Iskandar has enough to bring him down, and is so charismatic that Wamuu will respect him so much to not try to mutually kill him. And that's it.
Everyone ending their arguments early.
I know.
Very concise. Very concise.
We are clearly dealing with professionals, and me.
Well, I timed mine to 60 seconds when I practice it, but I probably talked way too fast.
You practice yours?
Just like the opening, yeah.
I was gonna say I never practice my 60 seconds. I come up with them as I'm here.
And he's never lost, so I guess that's the strategy.
He's doing something right.
He's focusing on the parts that actually matter.
You know, Wamuu's never lost a fan battle cast either.
Wamuu has never lost the fan battle cast, but neither has Iskandar, so they're equal on
He
that
hasn't
front.
lost one yet. Let's be
Okay,
real.
but I mentioned it first.
So just,
True.
I guess the first topic I want to cover, which might be like a weird one, but as far as I understand it, beyond like the usual connections that some other matchups have, where it's like they're cool buff anime characters and they respect each other and they have like the warriors respect and all that. I think one of the big appeals is just that you can have a chariot fight, which not a lot of matchups have. So I guess my first question is, who's the better chariot combatant, if that's how it was to start?
I would.
Oh, sorry, you go first.
Okay, then. So I'll bring up again, though, since I mentioned up. So Iskandar's mount is well, he technically has two, but let's focus on the main one, which is the Gordius Wheel. A chariot that was basically supposed to be a gift from for Zeus. Pulled by two divine oxes that could fly through the air and shoot out enough lightning that in an hour it just being there can destroy the entire Shinto province. Now, how big that is, I don't know. Every time I try to type in Shinto, I just get the religion. So unless if they destroy religion, then I don't got the number.
Okay, so he's got like a cool flying chariot that can shoot lightning. What's Wamoo's chariot looking like?
It's kind of just like normal. It's more the horses that are interesting. They're like zombie horses, I think.
I like zombie horses.
He only really like gets in the chariot like once in his final fight. I don't remember if it's specified I don't remember if it's specified if he like has like done a chariot fight before. But if you want to bring up image first time.
First time.
Mm-hmm. So Wamoo's like pretty old, and in this or this panel, he says that like this is like the first time anyone has damaged his face like this in like the 12,000 years he's been alive. So if he's like done chariot battles before, he's obviously pretty good, because he's like hasn't been injured like that ever.
I guess he does have the experience. Well, aren't they both really old?
Well, Iskandar was dead for a good chunk of that time, so no. I will say no for experience specifically.
Yeah,
So Wamuu would have the experience advantage in a chariot fight.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't want to spoil too much about the behind the scenes, but I know CEO has prepared a lot for this argument, so I'm kind of curious. Like, CEO, what kind of stuff do you want to talk about?
What kind of stuff do I want to talk about? I kind of want to bring up some funny stuff first.
All right, what do you want to bring up?
Wait, let me find it.
He's finding it.
Oh, can you bring up walkthrough? There's two images, but this is the first one.
Walkthrough?
Uh-huh. So this is like when they first, like near when they first awaken, and Wamuu's just like walking and runs into this guy, kind of just like touches him. And then can you bring up walkthrough too? And then the next panel, the dude's entire half of his body is just gone. He just caused that just by walking into it.
Is that like an AP thing, or did he like erase him? Like, what's happening here?
So the Pillamen kind of just eat through their skin.
I was gonna say it seems a lot more like a absorption thing.
Yeah.
I legitimately just thought he just literally walked through his body and just took that body part with him. So
It's
the
not a
other half
speed
is just
thing because
I
he is
think
just walking.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but it's like I remember seeing this in the anime. It is just regular walking speed, and it's the equivalent of like seeing a free snack bowl. So Wamuu just yoinks a little bit of him, a little bit.
Also, I like how there's no organs in this guy. It's just like pure
Yeah.
red flesh. Like he's like a golem.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the
wow.
point of like this doesn't immediately kill him.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he's
he
alive for
comes
a bit.
back. He survives.
no. Caesar has to
For like 5
give him
Yeah.
a mercy kill after a bit.
Oh wow, he has to give him a mercy kill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Damn.
it's like
Jojo
he's able to have
humans-
some compensation and stuff, and I said it's like honestly impressive that he lived that long.
So
JoJo's man.
what's
I love
Iskandar gonna do when Wamuu just casually walks up to him and eats half of his flesh?
Warm down.
Okay, so there's Batsy. So the main thing I have for that though is specifically an ability that Alexander has, which is thing with Batsy with Iskandar is that due to being a guy who very much lie about the fact that he was actually the son of Zeus instead of his actual dad, he actually got got blessed by some of Zeus's lightning.
Oh,
Yes, so About to say, so basically he has Zeus's electricity coursing through his body, and that's part of the reason why he became a brick shithouse. Because he was a very pretty boy when he was younger, but then he just kept on doing that, except he just kept on like, I like being super strong, and then he just became, well, you saw the thumbnail, he only looks quite next to a Jojo Part 2 character.
Yeah. Honestly, I think he looks more Brickhouse than the Jojo character. Like, if we'll just pull up, like, the thumbnail real quick, like... I think, like, he looks... Maybe that's just because Wamuu is taller, or it's, like, the fur coat or whatever, but I feel like... Now I'm looking at it, I guess it is pretty comparable.
I'm reminded of that. I can just easily imagine that one Full Metal Alchemist scene where it is Alex Armstrong and Izumi's husband just seeing each other and, like, flex.
The flex off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I think that if Wamuu just tries to like immediately go for like the snipe thing of just eating Iskandar, he's just gonna get tased away.
Is that how that works?
Well, it's coursing into his body, so if there's lightning going on in there, I don't think there's anything to suggest Pillowmen are immune to lightning by default.
I don't have lightning exactly, but I have something kind of insane. Can you bring up dynamite?
I remember this one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so AC/DC, who is definitely less powerful than Wamuu, just eats this stick of dynamite and lets it explode in his body, and it's just completely fine. I don't think the electricity is going to bother Wamuu that much.
What the fuck is that panel?
Hang on.
It's the
It's an
explosion
explosion.
going off inside.
I know. I'm just wondering why it was.
Okay.
It's JoJo's. If we question everything, we're gonna be here all day.
True.
I guess that shows a good, like, elasticity of Pillarmen.
Yeah.
Like,
Who knew they were made of rubber?
Yeah.
Wait. While we're on the topic of their, like, survivability, can you... Wait, where was it? Sorry, 1 second.
Perfect.
One.
Can you bring up nervous system?
Oh my gosh, Saul, why?
Oh,
Oh no. Oh no.
God
listen,
damn it,
I am
Saul.
just so glad that I'm just going in for this for it all. And CEO pull out every shit post that we can get a part of.
AC/DC, who again is way less powerful than Wamuu, is able to survive as just a nervous system.
That's pretty good regen.
And if you could bring up, I'll let Riddles talk in a second. And if you could bring up Dust really quick too.
Dust.
This panel kind of implies that even like the dust of them is alive in itself, and they could rebuild from just like their dust. In the bottom right or whatever.
Even Dust is alive. If we put him in darkness, his body will start to reassemble. That's pretty good. Is this guy a reliable source?
Yeah, I mean it's the guy who's like investigating Santana, who's again way weaker than Wamuu. Essentially, the reason their this insane regen doesn't show up like a ton in like their fights is because like Hamon is kind of like, you know, designed to stop that in a way. Like
Good old
sun.
Kung Fu powered by the sun.
But as far as I know, Hamon isn't in Fate.
Does
And-
Iskandar have Hamon? That is a good question, Riddles.
I want it to be known that there was definitely a character who has something the equivalent of Haman, but you are lucky the fact though that Iskandar himself does not have it.
All right.
So I will.
I want to give Riddles a chance to talk.
Yeah, no, I said I was gonna. Yeah, I'll be done.
Yeah, CEO was nice enough. So another thing to bring up with survivability. So funny thing about servants, they're ghosts. So they can't like they don't do it too much in like combat applications, but they can in fact phase in and out of existence kind of at will. I think at one point Iskandar has noted the fact that he breaks into a library and then just kicks the door down, and his master's like, "Why didn't you just phase out?" And it's like, I want to prove that I was here.
So they can just like turn ethereal whenever they want.
Yes. So the main counter to how that kind of goes is, and but I will say this is that I don't think that like Iskandar's automatically immune to go on through for that, because it's kind of a thing of magic must defeat magic, and part of the magic and fate is like, are you an old thing? Are you a thing that we don't have a good comprehension of? Yada yada. So like, Wamuu's an ancient Aztec god vampire thing. He should apply for that. So there should be no issue with like Wamuu actually hurting Iskandar outside of stat gaps and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, the main thing I was also going to bring up is that servants naturally have this heightened region, not to the extent of can survive as a nervous system, but like, the only way you're guaranteed to kill a servant is if you specifically destroy the heart or the brain. Like we have had examples of a servant like having their chest blown open and the only organ still left in there was the heart. And he just looks at his master and it's like, you're a jerk.
Okay. Now we've kind of started talking about some of their esoteric abilities, but for those who don't know these characters, how do Wamuu and Iskandar like normally fight? Like, is it just gonna be like a brawl fist fight? Like, what are we looking at in terms of just how they normally fight?
Can I go first?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So normally against normal people, he kind of just automatically does like the absorption stuff and just like insta kills them on the spot, except against people with Hamon, because I think I forgot exactly why, but they can't absorb like people who like know Hamon or whatever. So when he's fighting or Ripple, when he's fighting like people of the Ripple tribe or whatever, he usually uses wind-based attacks and or wind or tornado-based attacks. If you could bring up Divine Sandstorm.
I can bring up why he doesn't eat anyone with Hamon, if you'd like. Because I do actually remember this. It's because they can cause Hamon throughout their bodies.
Yeah.
And they're much more vulnerable on the inside than they are on the outside. So while they can resist a Hamon punch to the face, if it gets in their organs, it kind of fucks them up.
Yeah. This is like his main attack, Divine Sandstorm. It's kind of just like two big tornadoes that just destroy anything in their path. In this image, they kind of look like energy beams, but they're more supposed to be like wind based.
It is a sandstorm, so is there like also like sand in this that's like ripping you apart?
No, I don't. I mean, unless they're in a desert. No, it's just wind based.
Okay, I just saw the blood coming off, and I was wondering if Joseph was just getting like sand blasted.
Yeah, if I'm not, despite the name, it's about to say it is just wind most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
He also has like some wind-based attacks that like aren't named. Like he can just there's moments where he just like throws wind at people, kind of, or like a wind slice or whatever. And his his head thing can kind of like create a protective defense mechanism against range attacks. Using wind.
We do have a couple of comments asking some questions about Wamuu.
Sure.
A floating shopping list asks if Wamuu and Cars are relative before Cars turns into the ultimate light form.
Yes, absolutely. There's arguments that Wamuu is stronger, I believe.
I know that after his fight with Caesar, Wamuu notes the fact that Cars might have died if Cars was the one who got put up against Caesar.
Yeah.
Because Wamuu was like the most resilient to Hamon and the likes.
Yeah. That also kind of always felt like that statement always felt like a Pokemon type matchup thing for me, where it's like maybe because of Caesar's light stuff, Cars would have done a lot worse compared to Wamuu, who has a lot more like ranged capabilities with his wind stuff, you know?
Yeah,
that's
so it
fair.
could have been more like a fighting stuff,
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
built to handle someone like Cars, who's a melee specialist.
Yeah, because Cars' entire thing is through his bone blades, isn't it? So I took that a lot more as like a matchup thing, you know?
Yeah,
I do think at the very least they are very much comparable, even if you don't think like Wamuu is stronger.
Yeah, I would definitely think that they're probably like similar.
Mm-hmm.
And Dario is contesting your dust regen by saying that Wamuu died after just being ahead. Is there
Well, yeah,
any
because-
context to that, or?
Of Hamon and the Ripple.
Yeah, like
all right then.
Yeah, that was a Hamon.
yeah,
I-
like
It was a
if
Hamon
Sunlight
beheading.
is not involved, they can regenerate, but Wamuu as a head was decapitated with Hamon, so
It was like a Ripple explosion or something. Like he combined oil with the Ripple.
Yeah, basically had Wamuu eat a bunch of oil and then had a Ripple. That's it. Then basically Joseph made a pipe bomb inside Wamuu and then charged it with the Ripple.
Yeah.
Oh. That'll do it. Normal
Yeah,
dynamite,
Sunlight-
not so much, but Hamon dynamite, now we're
Yeah.
cooking. Okay. Do we want to touch on anything else about Wamuu's standard arsenal, or can we kind of talk about how Iskandar fights now?
I'm trying to think, but I don't think so for now.
So, like, the main thing is, like, he mostly fights with wind attacks and a little
Yeah.
bit of brawling.
Yeah, when he's fighting against someone, he can't immediately just like slurp.
Okay. Riddles, how does Iskandar normally approach a fight?
So first thing he will probably do is ask if you would like to join his army. And then if you say no, he's going to run you over with his giant bull chariot.
All right.
Reasonable response.
natural.
Yeah, nope, like, Iskandar is a rider through and through, and there's only, like, one time where he gets off one of his mounts to go on through. So his main thing is, in fact, just bulldoze down anything that gets in his way. It is noted that this is physically comparable to the likes of, like, a full-powered King Arthur, and can even, like, for things like kill, Lancelot. A guy who was kind of enough, put up in enough armor thing that he could survive being hit with, Excalibur. And, Excalibur in Fate is the wonkiest thing to ever analyze. From what I understand, in Fate Zero, that thing typically is considered, like, around island level at max.
Oh. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, this shows how desensitized versus debating. You know, it's only island.
What's
Only
the
an
big deal?
island.
We've been dealing with too much multiversal. We gotta go back.
Yeah, no, so it is like, it kind of goes on through, but if you ever get main thing with Gordy's Reel is that it also does protect Iskandar. He does have a shield. It is said that he has a shield around himself.
Okay.
So
So, does Iskandar have, like, weapons he throws or, like, spears or anything when he's on the chariot, or is he just letting, like, all the lightning do the work?
he has a sword. That's it, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, nope. It is legitimately get me closer so I can hit them with my sword.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so he does have some skills to help out on through. Like, give me a quick second. He has a special charisma skill called Those Who Go Towards the Beyond, where he basically hypes himself up in a way where he can, not only become stronger, but is able to just pierce through any specific defensive abilities that his enemies are using.
Okay. So, we kind of have two chariot users. One fights with lightning, one fights with wind attacks. And so that's, like, kind of the base setup for how they'll be, like, fighting. So why is one of them gonna win? That's the question.
And that is the question.
I guess my argument is Wamuu can't really die besides unless the fight plays out until sunlight. So really all Wamuu like needs is like one opening to like touch him and then just like drain all his blood or destroy an organ or whatever.
He has ways to destroy organs?
I mean, it's kind of like one sec, let me bring up a panel. He's never like destroyed an organ on screen, but he definitely can. If you want to bring up poison.
the poison we've heard so much about.
This, I'm not actually bringing this up for the poison ring. He's able to, Wamuu was able to reach like inside Joseph and put like that ring there. So if Wamuu wanted, he could have like crushed the heart, or else but he probably didn't because he was afraid of getting rippled. And also, where's the one?
This is a very weird way to flirt with a man.
Yeah.
Wamuu wants commitment.
hmm
I mean, Jojo's is basically just very aggressive flirting with other men.
If you want to bring up gross,
Beautiful.
All right, that
Nice follow-up to that
inspires the
sentence.
imagination.
this is Santana just like going into a man and just killing him from the inside out.
Are the Pillarmen like ghosts? Like, what are they?
Okay, okay, I do have another image. I don't really understand how they do this. Can you bring up Foot?
That is not the image I want to hear while dealing with this stuff.
We've gone from gross to foot.
I have funny names for my images.
I can give some insight on what exactly the Pillarmen are if you want.
Yeah, so they're supposed to like, it's supposed to be like a more like weird like morphine, like, how do I explain it? It's supposedly that they're able to like morph inside stuff or whatever, but other times he just like, Santana just like walks through this guy's leg.
I always interpreted that like Santana was like really good with the body morphing stuff to compensate for the fact that he didn't have any of like the special like arm blades or tornadoes or AC/DC's fire blood.
Well, no, yeah, but Wamuu also kind of does this too. Can you bring up Slip?
I will say I did not expect so much Santana to be used here.
This is Wamuu, not Santana, going inside a horse and like having his hand come up from like not like a hole or like the mouth or the like ear, just like the backside. The arm is able to just like go through the horse.
And I forgot how fucking bizarre Jojo is early on.
What?
Like, I understand like how Araki explains it, but I just don't understand like how they're able to do stuff like this. But they can.
What's
Like, they
Araki's explanation?
Well, it's like they're supposed to like just like go in like an ear or a mouth or an eye or like something to get into the body, but like they're just like they can just ignore that rule.
Well, the actual explanation is that the Pillarmen are an advanced ancient race of vampire who have full body control, like mastery of their own body, and because they're undead, they can manipulate and kind of squeeze and shift it in ways that humans can't. Although there are a lot of creative liberties in how this is interpreted, like being able to just phase through flesh of other living things, and Wamuu being able to channel wind through his bones, which, yeah, Jojo's.
That's really good body control.
Yeah.
I love it when somebody who doesn't have the best grasp on science tries to science.
So he could sneak up on Joseph by going through a horse. Could he sneak up on Iskandar by going through like one of his bowls, and then he's just like pops out like surprise?
Yeah, probably.
So-
He could also just go through like, I mean, he just needs like one. Wamuu just needs like one opportunity to like touch Iskandar, and then he just like he can just kill him, I think.
That is a very strong argument.
Uh,
What is Iskandar gonna do?
okay, so you know what though? I'm thinking, and it's like you're going up on this, and that's saying just with how absolutely absurd Wamuu's resistances are, his biology, the fact though that like my only bad say that like if Wamuu could get past the lightning coursing through Alexander's body, there was a legit argument that he could theoretically one shot. I'll admit it's kind of hard, Pat. It's becoming a bit hard for me to think that Iskandar could just win a one-on-one fight with Wamuu. Shem, you know the video I want you to play right now.
Oh no, I have no idea what's that.
Oh, is it?
So let me tell you about noble phantasms.
Here we go. Let's get the stream copyright claimed.
Just put
Take
it
it down
to
before I
the
leave.
side. Everyone ignore.
So anyway, so Iskandar has what you kids know as domain expansion, but we oldies call a reality marble, where he can summon in a pocket universe.
Oh Jesus! Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, that's kind of nice.
This is his reality marble, Ianyoi Hitairoi.
Oh,
A vast desert with a clear, sunny sky, where everyone who has pledged loyalty to Alexander the Great is summoned in as a servant.
All right.
Now, the exact numbers of Alexander's army are a bit unclear. For what I can tell from it, the minimum is tens of thousands. The maximum, 4 million.
Oh boy!
That's a lot of people. That's a lot.
Okay,
That's a lot of people right here.
hear me
Noble
out.
phantasm go crazy.
Hear me out. He does have ways to get around the sun in this case. One, the people.
He has
all the
ways to get
people-
around the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if Jose Kratos dodges the sun?
So one, all the people there kind of does help Wamuu a little bit because he can actually like hide inside them. One, and like maybe like jump from person to person or whatever. And two, he can actually go invisible, and while he's invisible, he is immune to the sun.
What?
So
I guess that does make a sort of sense.
if you want to bring up Invisible Man.
There is another a floating shopping list did ask, is that a real sun?
Oh, true, but like, yeah. So he can like morph the wind, or I guess morph the wind around his body. I forgot exactly the explanation, but it doesn't matter. And he's invisible, so he can just sneak up on Iskandar and instantly kill him. And two, he is immune to the sun while in this form.
Why does he kind of look like Alien X right now to me?
He does.
You're not wrong.
Also, third, the sun might not be a real sun, like what was said.
It could just be a really bright thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bright lamp.
Not all light harms like Pillarmen.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like how Hamont is technically like not actual sunlight, but it's close enough that it counts.
So, how strong is Wamuu compared to like some generic servant that Iskandar summons?
So,
Like, would he be stronger than like one of these guys that gets summoned?
about to say, it's so the exact thing of okay, so how strong is one guy? The average guy from Iskandar's army is very hard to say because the only thing we can say is they're definitely superhuman. About to say, which is kind of a no shit because they were put up against the assassin of that war, who their gimmick was. They were basically split into 100 different bodies, but they also have their power that they get for being a servant split between those all 100s of them. And so the way that other characters treat them is the fact of humans could theoretically take down an assassin. It was just that they have to do it with extreme caution in a one-on-one fight. Of like, but meanwhile, when Alexander's people fight them, they just easily mow them down. So it's like they're definitely superhuman, but to the extent I'm not sure. For like the nameless mooks. Now there are named characters in that army that can do a bit more.
Oh, we actually know some of the people in his army, what they can do.
Yes, there is. So I will pull up one of my image things for it all. Don't remember what exactly it was called, but it is of the random dude that I sent you.
The random dude.
Yes. So this is one of the servants that got summoned up by Alexander. So I just about to say, sadly, his name I'm not going to be able to pronounce, and I don't want to pronounce it because I will offend someone.
It's one of those names that starts with like PTH.
We'll call him Phil from accounting.
Alright, so this is Phil from accounting. How strong is Patil?
Hi,
from-
Phil.
So the main thing, though, is that it's less so much the easiness of his strength, and more the fact, though, that somehow this one guy is the perfect counter to Wamuu.
Oh?
So, what you don't see is that he can also become an old man who is an expert strategist who can immediately analyze a character's weakness. Now, logically, he will not Alexander, despite like the extra charisma and stuff, I don't think would immediately realize, oh, this guy's weak to sunlight. I should exploit this. But with this guy, he should definitely be able to note this, which is really good considering his own noble phantasm, which involves using the Lighthouse of Alexandria to turn the sun into a giant laser beam.
Oh. That's
Yeah,
helpful.
sure. Fuck it.
Well, good thing that Wamuu can dodge light. Can you bring up where is it?
It's the light dodging one?
Yeah, speed feed.
Hey, that one didn't have a funny name.
Yeah, true. So yeah, Joseph and Caesar both dodge a sun laser beam. And also, Wamuu should realistically scale to like the silver chariot like feat or whatever, because he's stronger. He's like Pillarmen are stronger than like vampires. Also, cars dodge like an ultraviolet ray, I think.
Yeah,
I
it was
don't
an
know how,
ultraviolet
like-
ray.
Huh?
There's a lot
Yeah,
of
it-
light dodging in
It wa-
JoJo.
Yeah, it was an ultraviolet ray. Yeah, you're right.
And while on the topic of definitely being stronger than Dio, could you bring up a stolen death battle screenshot?
Uh oh. Am I gonna like this calc?
It
No,
is
not.
the
There we go.
if you do buy this, which Death Battle does at the very least, this laser cloud partying feat could get to 10.6 megatons of TNT.
That does strike me as a bigger number than vaguely superhuman.
Also, there's of course if you want to go even farther with it, you could also scale him to the Jolie and Meteor stuff.
Didn't that one get nerfed to the ground?
Shush.
I thought the Jolie meteor was like in the kilotons range of TNT.
Well, I was more
that
bringing up
feat
for
gets a lot of different places.
Well, I was more bringing up to support this one, not like
So we're in the
Usually-
vague, maybe city level ranges for
Yes.
the Pillarmen.
I will admit that Iskandar is definitely more powerful than Wamuu in terms of like durability and strength. I don't think anyone is contesting that. But I do think Wamuu is strong enough to hold his own for at least a little while in order to hit him once with, and slurp him.
Hit him once and slurp him.
Yum, 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 yum.
My favorite win con.
So I'm just trying to keep track of the various win cons on this topic. Wamuu just excuse me. Wamuu seems to just be able to like touch him, and he'll do something irrevocable. Like Iskandar's weakness is his organs, and Wamuu has a way to target that.
I think everyone's weakness is their organs.
Unless you're Hades from Kid Icarus, in which case you can just lose your heart and then he just walks it off.
That is true. Most people's weaknesses are their organs, Sherm, so I don't
Well,
know what
maybe-
you're
We,
getting
we've
at.
been versus Bray Rod too long. We need to cleanse. We need to cleanse.
His vulnerability is his organs, I might want to say, as opposed to
Again.
nothing else being vulnerable.
Alex, listen, it's all going to be great when the finale is just Wamuu reduced to a nervous system and Alexander reduced to a brain and a heart. And they just
But the chariots are still going.
yeah, they both land back on their chariots, and it's just a normal race at that point.
No, I think the final fight, like they're like off the chariots, and it's the chariots going by themselves against each other.
Just the chariots become the actual main characters.
Let them fight.
But he has a way to actually theoretically damage Iskandar.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah,
Iskandar's methods for actually like putting Wamuu down despite the regen?
So basically, just about to like the Pillamen have to feed for a reason, and it is kind of showcased with like with the vampires that their regeneration becomes a lot shittier if they end up if they basically run low on their supply. So it's basically just beat the reduce Wamuu to a puddle long enough so that he's legally dead.
Good thing that I've been given a supply of 2 horses.
2 horses. Okay, reminded that. Okay, I can't wait for you to deal with the bulls that can annihilate a religion. Apparently,
I have a
you have
question,
also
Rick.
given me a supply of 2 bulls.
Would Iskandar's army ironically give Wamuu like a source of energy if he just keeps killing those servants?
Yeah. That's
Yes.
what I was wondering. Like,
Possibly
you said they
if-
were phantasms. Do they behave like ghosts, or do they have like blood and flesh that could be slurped up for healing?
so it's the funny thing with servants is that when they die, they kind of don't leave much of a body around unless it's specifically sustained. So Wamuu's gonna eat them, and then they disappear from his nutrition catalog.
It's empty calories.
They could
Like-
still help him a little, though.
This is a funny quirk that I thought about with the thing. If it's like servants just kind of pop away when they go away, so it's like, but yeah, and then of course though other funny interactions things is the fact of I brought it before of like Iskandar's charisma skill amping up his attack and all that. Needless to say, as it's a charisma skill, that applies to when he uses that strengthens everyone in the army.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so that's it, because Iskandar is about to say, for all the stuff I'm going on through, he wasn't ever made for one-on-one fights. It is very obvious that his thing is buff up the fuckers and Yanyo hit thyroid to high holy hell.
Can he buff them to be a similar level as himself?
Some of them are explicitly stated to be stronger than him.
Oh, that makes sense.
That feels
Ricky.
important.
Yeah, it is brought up that it's like some of these people have made are smarter than him. Some of them are stronger than him. Some of them made no names and they were just a nameless mook in his army. They are all accepted into this. Hell, his horse that you saw in that video, that's a full-on servant. I could summon that in the war. Imagine trying to summon Alexander the Great and then you get his horse instead.
It's a pretty good horse, though, let's be fair.
Yeah. Could you bring up the image conjoin? Wamuu can take care of multiple people very easily. Yeah, so he kind of just like dances around them for 2 seconds and conjoins all of their hands together and is able to just like slurp up one, and it slurps up like all of them at the same time.
Oh, like he makes them like he just makes them one long noodle.
Yeah.
Yep.
He could maybe not the entire army at once, but he could definitely do it to like a portion and get like and heal up pretty quick.
Well, he tries to heal up and then 5 seconds later the blood goes away.
Emulator in the comments was actually asking about that. And then never mind. Then Creature Transylvania answered the question, so never mind. He was asking if blood remained on their swords if they got killed. And then someone in the chat said the blood disappears, so I guess that answers that.
Well,
Yeah.
couldn't you argue that the blood he would eat the blood before they die and then they die?
But would the blood just disappear inside of him?
Well, it would heal him up first, so it doesn't even matter at that point.
Listen, we are going to get to a pedanticness of the levels of how servants and their bodies properly function, and I don't want to bring up the fact that we've had to ask the question of, okay, so how do servants and pregnancies work?
That's a good question, though. We got it nailed down to the nitty gritty of their biology. Also, someone else was wondering that Iskandar's reality marble is powered by his soldiers. So if enough of them die, the reality marble breaks.
You know, that is a distinct possibility. In the fight against, I'd say, well, okay, Gilgamesh's case, he was able to bypass that by specifically destroying the reality marble in its entirety.
Oh.
But in order to do that one, he had to use something that is classified as anti-world noble phantasm. So
Anti-world
Right.
noble phantasm.
So yes, so excuse me if I think that it'll be a bit difficult for Wamuu to get up that high.
Do you want to bring up Horn really quick?
For a second, I thought you were about to say bring up anti-world Wamuu.
No, can you bring up Horn?
Bring up eyes over Wamuu.
Wamuu over heaven.
You see, he can extend his horn really long, and that would just reach him.
That would reach it?
And he can drink the blood through the horn. So
Are you arguing that his horn is the horn that pierces the heaven right now?
yes.
I
He
think
can also combine it with a divine sandstorm type attack. Go to horn 2.
you're going to horn 2.
I don't want to go to Horn 2.
We're going to horn 2.
I'm fine.
Yeah, he could do that.
That is the horn that will pierce the heavens.
Yes.
So what you're telling me is that we should have gotten Wamuu versus Simone. Got it.
Yeah.
Wamuu versus Simone.
Yeah. Wamuu would win.
That would be such a good cast.
Wamuu, when he absorbs Ubuntu, when he's able to bypass
Joe versus
ability by
Horn, who
absorbing
will
him.
win?
50 likes on this cast, and me and Joe will debate that, and I will do Simone. So Joe can find
Wait,
against
hang
Simone.
on. Why am
Hold on. You're actively trying to make sure never wins.
No, shit, I'm giving you the winning character. Did you just hear everyone here say Wamuu wins?
Oh yeah, you know you're all right. Fair enough.
I'd be in the gentleman.
All right,
Don't
fine.
worry,
50
man.
likes and Miyasol will
50
debate
likes, and
Wamuu
we will
versus
do it.
Simone.
No, it's specifically Wamuu versus Part 1, Simone.
No, it's Wamuu versus Simone. We gotta have the horn that pierces the heavens versus the drill that pierces the heavens.
This makes sense to me.
50 likes right now.
All right, that's our next bonus cast.
So, Wamuu potentially scaling to the part 3 cast is 10,000 times faster than light. How fast is Iskandar?
So, fate and speed is fucky.
Love it.
So, I'd say. So it's we have gotten the official statements a lot of time that unless if your body is unless if a servant's body is specifically modified, light's faster than light's kind of a no-no. And that has been and that has been something that has been it has been brought up in different debates, and I do think it's a thing that's been enforced more than the outliers of definitively faster than light stuff. Because there's only a handful of feats that actually definitely go faster than light, compared to the multiple statements of it's well, you went faster than light, and now you're in fucking pain. But yeah, so Alexander definitely gets into that range, though. He and Fate X Stella, he has fought against the Lancer Kukulane, who is specifically stated to have use his spear to strike at the speed of light, and Alexander has held his own and beaten Kukulane. He has also been able to dodge dodge Excalibur going at him, which is a light beam. Well, and it's the high ball for that's definitely 8 things for it all. And I don't want to bring up the funny calcs where it's a character gets thrown to the other side of the solar system and then comes back in a couple of minutes, because that just feels stupid to bring up here.
Is that not an actual feat?
So the moon cell is weird.
Okay.
That's the main thing I'll go on to is 90% of the weird contentious stuff when it comes to Fate cosmology is because the main game that goes over it for the longest time was Japanese only PSP RPG. I'll say that it's Alexander Lowball should be light speed. You can definitely make arguments going faster. I can't really say too much about Silver Chariot, getting to the Silver Chariot numbers, but I don't think Wamuu should get the Silver Chariot numbers anyway.
What do you think, CEO? Do you think Wamuu should get the Silver Chariot numbers?
For the purpose of this debate, absolutely.
Okay, so Shem, you remember that one time when I told you a character got thrown outside the solar system?
I
Wait, really quick. One, I'm joking. I do think he's like near light speed, but like Silver Chariot stuff might be kind of reach. I don't know. But could you bring up dodge really quick?
I mean, I'm like not a debater in this cast. I will say that I myself do think that scaling part 1 to part 3 makes sense. Like, I just do genuinely think that's reasonable scaling. I don't know with the Fate stuff, I don't see why that also wouldn't be reasonable if we're being fair, but... So you said it's called reach?
No, dodge.
Dodge.
Uh-huh. So if Iskandar does get in close, Wamuu can just do this.
He just dodges the sword like a SpongeBob character.
Yeah. How are you gonna slice him in half when he can just like do that?
This gives me the energy of like Wamuu gets ran over by the oxygen chariot, and then his body just contorts around one of the wheels, and then Iskandar looks down and he just sees Wamuu's face staring at him while like the wheel's still turning with his body on it.
And he's like Flat Stanley.
Yeah, no, he's like staring at you, and it's like your chariot is most impressive, King of Conquerors. Unfortunately,
I want this episode to happen specifically to see that scene play out.
I like how Iskandar's arguments seem to be hype moments in Aura, and Wamuu's are just like, look how weird he is.
I mean, that is kind of the funny contrast, ain't it?
That is the dynamic of Fate and Jojo, my friend.
Do we have a rough estimate to how fast the solar system feet would be?
The what now feet?
The get the moon cell solar system speed feet?
Okay, if I remember correctly, it was... it's admittedly going based off of memory, but... I think there was a thing that put it at like the millions. Let's just lowball it and say it's something like 2,000. Yeah, no, I'm definitely this is not a part that I ever expected to actually get brought up.
So, if the solar system feat is valid, it would be within the same ranges as the Silver Chariot feat.
Yeah, I think you can definitely...
What I'm hearing.
If you want to highball it, you can definitely go it up there.
Mr. Crimson says the feat isn't being thrown out of the solar system, it's being thrown out of the galaxy, which is much faster than being thrown out of the solar system.
You see, that's part of me trying to lowball it. Listen, I'm trying to give Wamuu a chance here.
Wow.
I was gonna say, if Wamuu had like the speed advantage to the point of Iskandar being light speed and Wamuu being like 10,000 times light speed, that would be a pretty significant advantage. But if their speed is equal, then that's less of an advantage.
Yeah, but invisibility.
It is invisibility. Is there anything else we want to talk about big topics? I kind of feel like we're edging into final argument territory.
Mm-hmm. Let me see.
I don't really think I have anything much else to go on to.
I guess I should bring this up, even though I don't think it really helps, but it's like one of, it's Wamuu's like final attack or whatever. I don't think it helps for purposes of debate, but people might be mad if I don't bring up. Can you bring up Atmospheric Rift?
What?
Or what was that the name? Maybe I wrote the name
No,
wrong.
you definitely got it right.
Well, it's just like his final attack if all else fails, which I don't think it will. He'll slurp his guitar up. But if he somehow doesn't, he can at least use this to as a Hail Mary. It's like he absorbs a bunch of wind and then it does damage his body a lot. But he absorbs a bunch of like wind and pressurizes it. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah, into like a small beam. In the part two, in part two, he uses it very like slowly because he's blind in this scene. But this is the only thing I'll bring up from the All-Star Battle. In All-Star Battle, when he's not blind, he can just like fling it around willy-nilly. Like it's not like in one spot. He's able to like cover an entire area with it or whatever.
Because in part 2 he was blinded, so he wanted to make sure he knew Joseph was mostly immobile, and he just wanted to make sure he could actually hit him.
Mm-hmm. If he's not blind and he uses it, it's a lot stronger than what it was in the last in the final part of his battle. Also, like what I brought up earlier, he was blind like for like half of this fight, I think. Wamuu gouged out his own eyes and was able to use his wind powers to like sense everything around him. So he could get like a good, in like let's say the desert thing, he could get like a good like survey of like how many people there are and like where he should like attack first or whatever.
Interesting.
That's pretty much all I have.
Also, I have not actually read this part. Is Joseph getting choked by Wamu's hands in the top
Yes.
left?
Yes.
So he can still control his body even when it's in like multiple pieces?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. So even if Iskandar chops his arm off, can Wamuu still drink him via that severed arm?
Yeah, or just the horn.
That arm's just gonna go in, and it's gonna be like about the Evil Dead 2.
I feel like Santana drinks blood through his feet at one point, but I might be making that up.
No, that definitely happens.
That sounds like something Santana would do.
He can. I'm pretty sure the Pillarmen can drink blood from literally any part of their body. I don't think it matters.
But does their body need to be like attached to like their main body? I guess.
Oh yeah, probably.
Okay.
In order to heal them, yeah.
What if they just absorb the blood, but not to like drink it, just like shoot it? Like, what if his arm is severed, so it's just a hand. The hand grabs Iskandar's ankle. It drinks the blood, not to drink it, but just shoot it out the armhole that's left.
That would probably work.
Could he just like drain the blood?
Or he could make a second Wamuu.
I was about to ask, so if Wamuu gets his arm cut off, regenerates it, and his arm gets enough blood to regenerate a new body, is there 2 Wamuus, or is it just Wamuu Jr.?
There'll be 2 Wamuus. And he'll do this over and over again with all the servants to create an army of Wamuus.
Yes, this is how he got. Shit, why did not?
He's
I think
up the Lobo
This
strat.
started as a chariot fight. How do we make this an army battle?
Well, okay, the answer was because one of them was always going to make it an army battle. That's kind of like that is the elephant in the room with every Iskandar fight, is the fact of at some point you're inevitably going to have to account for the 25,000 other people in that.
I'm gonna throw up the poll. I think we're in final argument territory now.
Okay.
All right, so riddles. Why is Iskandar gonna win?
Can you pull up the image closing argument for me?
Yes. This is a good final argument.
But yeah, no, being serious, I think Yanyo Hitaiwa about to say changes this from decently enough, though, that Wamuu could go on through to just absolutely overwhelm me in Iskandar's favor. Like, even if, like, not bad say, like, the regular Joe Schmoes of his army can't really compete with Wamuu. Bad say, 7 biology does not service Wamuu at all for this. Iskandar's and his allies' charisma skills amping everyone up. They changes this. They would just bite away at Wamuu, wear him down up onto it. And no matter what, I do think that Iskandar just has such an overwhelming power advantage that if he bats it out, like in the sunlight field, like he just needs to incapacitate Wamuu and bats it so he can't defend himself from the light, and that's happening in the reality model. Or, have his friend use the giant sun laser beam. I needed to understand how much I laughed when I realized that was his power.
A giant sun laser is a strong argument.
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean to go on through? By the way, there's an amped version of that attack he could do as a suicide move. It killed Typhon, the guy who scared Zeus shitless.
Does the sun laser, is it a light speed attack, or is it like a attack that scales to the speed of Iskandar?
Logically, it should be a light speed attack because it is just using sunlight and then turning it into a laser beam. like you could theoretically try to make that say like theoretically with the fact of it can hit these fuckers, you could argue that they should it could be made faster, but like there's a reason I brought up that it's like Wamuu should probably needs to be incapacitated first or held down for it to properly hit him and hit him for that. But like I do think that it's like Wamuu will be worn down. Some of the more noticeable people in Alexander's army can just beat him. Can just but the thing, and even if you like reduce it to like the 10 noticeable people, that is a numbers game that does not favor Wamuu at all. Let alone again, congratulations, Bucko, you had an open field with the sun. You're a vampire.
So, I guess my one last question before we go into Wamuu's win cons is, you say like Phil from accounting can figure out the weakness of Wamuu. Does he have like a way to like just magically know your weakness, or would this be something you'd have to like deduce?
So so when you observe it in Fate, you get specific skills. Some of them are based off of like what class you're summoned under. Some of them are specifically because you're that character. So Patami, because he is the guy who had the Library of Alexandria, basically they just made him a giga knowledge, so he's able to identify like anything about an opponent by a glance due to his infinite knowledge. And to be fair, vampires do exist in the Fate universe, so Wamuu is not this very far removed concept.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. CEO, why does Wamuu win?
So I think it's just simple. He like even if the sun like on the what's it called? Sorry.
Reality marble?
Yeah, the reality marble like is real, which I do think is a tiny big if. He can still use the invisibility to hide himself from the sun, or just hide inside the bodies of like the soldiers in general. And even if they disintegrate when they die, he could probably still drink their blood before they die, which could like heal him or whatever. Really, all he needs to do is like go invisible, get close to Iskandar, and just like drain him, and it's over. Also, if he somehow loses, he can poison him with the ring and kill him a month later.
Listen, Iskandar will use his maximum charisma to make Wamuu respect him enough that Wamuu will give him the antidote. That's what after beating him.
No. I will go into the battlefield and drink the antidote so that Iskandar cannot.
No, get it
You
right.
will?
That's what Saul
Like
was gonna
CEO will do that?
Yeah, me.
I thought Saul was the third person in here. What happened here?
Also, like,
Dario is asking if Wamuu can convert the servants into zombies.
probably, maybe.
I
Maybe.
I mean,
I
if
don't.
the servants despawn when they die, doesn't that mean he could, even if they could do that, wouldn't wouldn't the Alexander guy just be able to dismiss the ones that are zombified?
Yes. Also, dumb thing that I just thought of is the fact I brought up. It's like, yeah, they could fade in and out of existence on through. So if Wamuu tries to hide in one of them, the guy could just phase away for a little bit, and then Wamuu just pops out.
Oh, one more thing. Wamuu should be able to like know most of the like, or should be able to do like the stuff like the normal vampires do. So he could probably also hypnotize Iskandar. Throwing it out there.
The hypnosis
that's
is
pretty
a
much it.
vampire ability?
Yeah, it's the standard vampire ability. Dio's able to use it.
I can't think of a good reason why they wouldn't be able to do that.
I think it's the thing of like we've never seen a Pillarman do it.
I guess like I would just say I don't think it would be in character, I guess.
Yeah, and it is so obvious. It is so blatantly out of character for him.
Yeah.
Well,
All
that's
right.
pretty much all I remember.
I think we are... This battle... I will say it is interesting, regardless of how much of a stomp it is. Zoro, what do you think?
I mean, it actually is a lot closer when you kind of get into the more hacksy abilities. Especially with, Wamuu, I would believe that he is able to take lightning if he gets a chance to, like, hit, Alexander. But, I was leaning Wamuu, but after hearing stuff like being able to dismiss his soldiers in order to expose them if he tries to do the body hiding thing in some of the minions, and then the tower of, giant sun laser, and Alexander having people in his army that are stronger than him, then it leads me to believe that, though Wamuu would put up a good fight, I don't think he would be able to get it out, especially if the pocket dimension is natural sunlight. So I am going to have to, sadly, put my vote for Iskandar.
That's one for Iskandar. Saul, what are you thinking?
Can you come back to me?
Croat, what are you
Right.
thinking?
I was very shocked to see where this debate went. Full context, I've watched both JoJo Part 2 and Fate Zero, and even then I was like, what the fuck are we talking about half the time? To be completely real and completely honest. I'm gonna have to go with Iskandar, Sun Go Burr.
Sun do go burr.
Sun Go Burr, and even if Wamu's able to break the reality, I don't think he can touch Iskandar.
I do have a question about how Wamuu drinks people. Like, does he need to, like, physically penetrate, like, their skin or whatever to start drinking them? Like,
Not penetrate in the way you're thinking, because he can just morph into them. Like, durability doesn't
oh yeah,
matter.
right, okay.
Yeah,
But yes, kind of. But like, he doesn't have to physically like be able to like poke a hole in them.
So I do think this fight is interesting because I think on paper, Iskandar is ironically easier to kill despite the durability gap. Because, like, if they're just standing there, Wamuu can kind of just go inside of Iskandar and start drinking him. Versus Iskandar has to, like, beat him up and then, like, use the sun laser, which they wouldn't immediately know to do. So it's like, killing Wamuu requires more steps than Wamuu killing Iskandar. But the problem is, Iskandar's just so strong. Like, if this starts as a chariot fight, which I don't see why it wouldn't, then he'll have, like, this shield up, and I'm not sure, like, Wamuu has a good way to, like, get past that shield. Like, I don't think you can, like, flesh morph your way through, like, a shield of magic or whatever. It's like, I think it would have to be, like, Iskandar respects Wamuu so much that he would bust out the army, and then he busts out. It's really hard because I think, like, if Iskandar makes, like, one mistake, Wamuu could capitalize on it. If Wamuu had the speed advantage, I would say he wins. But if speed is equal, which, if we're being fair to both, seems like that might be the case, then I have to give it to Iskandar. But if Wamuu had the speed advantage, I would give it to him. But I'm going to vote Iskandar. Alright, Saul, what are you thinking?
Yeah. I don't think a lot anyway. In terms of actual thoughts, yeah, it's definitely, there's some interesting arguments all around. Like Sherm said, Wamuu is definitely harder to kill, but I feel like maybe the dust regeneration might be a little bit overblown because we don't really have a time frame for that. It just kind of goes, that guy could regenerate from dust, and obviously we just don't know how long that is. But like the natural regeneration should be able to keep Wamuu in the fight. But oh boy, that strength difference and the sunbeam is a lot to get around. Yeah, like with a speed advantage, I could see Wamuu being able to get close enough to where he can do the absorption thing where you wouldn't really need that strength difference. But considering I would place them at like similar speeds and one has a major strength advantage, I'll be honest, I don't even think the sun laser would be entirely needed. It's just that extra nail in the coffin, and I don't really believe that Wamuu could break the domain expansion.
I tried my best.
You did a great job.
It was a really good argument.
It's it's a lot closer of a debate than I was expecting going into this cast.
CEO, I need you to understand. I did not prepare for any challenge on through here. You made me had a fight and about to legitimately going through, and it's like I'm gonna pull up the funny FGO guy, not because I need him, but because it'll be funny to bring him up. And it's like, oh no, I need this fucker.
We have 19 votes and 11 viewers, so I'm not sure how that happened, but Wamuu did win with 57% of the votes.
Yeah, I got one.
Wasn't a clean sleep.
I'm not sure. We keep getting this where we always have more votes than viewers. I feel like people.
I think it's because some people vote and then leave.
I guess, but why? If you're here for the vote, then why would you leave at that point? It just feels like a weird point to leave.
It's
Anyway,
I'm happy.
either that or YouTube's glitching with how many people are actually in.
YouTube can do that.
Either one person has 8 alternate accounts.
Yeah.
And they care a lot about this cast for some reason.
They really want Wamuu to win.
I'm happy
Honestly,
with
like-
one vote. I thought it was going to be a clean sweep against Wamuu.
Vamulator is admitting to voting on his PC and on his phone.
Well, you know what?
We love committing voter fraud.
Everyone commits a little bit of voter fraud.
What's a little bit of light voter fraud between friends?
Yeah.
It didn't even matter.
A little light voter fraud for a small voting pool actually matters a lot.
It did.
good there.
It didn't even matter for this cast because we all voted the other character.
It was a on-stream
that's
sweep, but then the chat gave you got one.
You got one. You got one. You did
You
not get
guys
swept.
you guys can never give Shern these pity points, can you?
No, you never give them to me, I want to add. I never get the
Wamuu
pity
has won the hearts
votes.
of the people.
Alright,
The day Sherb actually wins is going to be glorious.
I'm going to celebrate. Or delete the channel, one of the two.
I place bets on that second one.
I think this cast and the matchup turned out pretty. I thought the cast was very fun, but I think the matchup is. It sounds like it would be fun to just kind of. At first, I thought it was just fun as like an animation, but the analysis wouldn't be all that interesting. But the Pillarman abilities are really interesting to go against someone like this. I think like the chariot fight and the analysis of the ability. It's the hacks versus stats, which are cool sometimes. I think this would be a cool episode. I think this is the most interesting option for Wamuu.
I will say this about it. When I first heard about this, I wasn't a big fan because I did think that it's like it begins and ends at the idea of this chariot on chariot fight. But like actually having this debate and seeing the funny ability interactions, I've definitely grown a lot warmer to it.
Oh yeah, I am completely sold on this. Like, I want this to become an actual episode, just because having this, all glorious of Iskandar just trying to like go head to head with the sheer insanity of Jojo Pillarman, like,
Yeah.
it would be so memorable despite like the very simple premise.
JoJo's one of my favorite series, but I had a lot of fun like actually researching like all the stuff the Pillarman could do, because I did not remember they could do like half of that stuff, and I was just like reading it being like, what?
Listen, as a person who has like JoJo Part 2 as like his second favorite part, yeah, I forgot about how stupid he was.
The only few things I remember from JoJo Part 2 were like all the Wamuu fights. I forgot the Pillarman did half of that shit.
I died laughing when I saw the panel of him like having the hand through the horse.
Yeah.
I mean,
Surprise!
to quote Jojo really, really fast, and then Wamuu jumped out of the horse. That's all I learned.
Yeah, I think that this idea is really cool, and I do think the idea of like we touched on it a little bit, but the idea of like the warriors' respect between the two would also be fun. I like the idea of like them just kind of like being impressed with each other as the fight goes on.
I think I forgot to bring this up. it doesn't change anything, but of how he can survive like with only the head. I think like assuming Iskandar wins, which he probably does. I think it would be funny if like the last part of the fight was Wamuu like getting decapitated, but like using the crossbow to like slingshot himself towards Iskandar.
You see, some dumb things I thought is like, one thing I was surprised you didn't bring up is because I brought up it was a desert, is the fact of, Wamuu could probably just shoot like his sandstorm thing at the ground to make a dust cloud, and that'll probably help him with sunlight. Like, it won't mitigate the bad thing. It won't, like, negate it, but it'll definitely protect him a bit more, especially with his armor.
Can't Wamuu also just, like, dive underground like a land shark?
Does he?
I don't think
He was able to go through a horse. Why wouldn't he be able to go through the ground?
I'm pretty sure I remember, like, one
Because
of
it
the
has to be
Pillarmen be
living.
able to just, like, travel through the earth. Or, like,
I don't
bury
think they-
themselves or something.
I don't think they could do that on the thing. They definitely need not do, like...
I mean, Santana
Wait.
was able to, like,
Sorry. Now that I
travel
think
up a
about it,
vent, so...
I was gonna say he can only go through living things, but he goes through people's clothes.
He
In order
does
to-
go through people's clothes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he might be able to go through like objects. Now that I'm thinking about it.
never considered the idea of Pillarmen fighting non-Haman users, but yeah, it actually is crazy how much Haman is actually needed to, have a good fight with them. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah, you kind of need something sunlight related, otherwise the fight difficulty goes from medium to extreme.
Yeah, luckily the reality marble helps so much.
Yeah, no, it is like it is somebody pointed out in the comments, it is like, this is just like Venom vs. Chrono, where it just turns out that one side just has the main weakness of the other one. And like it's the main mood of it's like Alexander isn't even supposed to be the anti-vampire guy. He just bumblefucked on that one time.
He just has him in his army.
It's just like, and my greatest friend, the sun. Hi
Yes.
guys.
Phil from account, what should we do? Burn the sun into that motherfucker.
Alright. With that being said, thanks for watching, guys. I thought I had a great time with this. This was a very fun cast.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
hey,
did too.
we look forward to making some more casts for y'all, and we will be seeing you later. Bye.